Welcome to the WSL Post Show. Strider Wasilewski sitting alongside WSL Big Wave Commissioner Pete Mel and Big Wave World Champ. What's happening, Pete? Happy to be here.
I am. Thank you very much. And of course, Haleiwa produced some surf today that was one for the ages. Not a lot of times we get to see Haleiwa packed at 10 foot. And I think all of these competitors had to deal with it today, and there were some definite highlights.
Huge waves were rolling through, absolute massive walls riding in, huge scores on the board. It was so fun to watch these guys, watch them get after it on day 2 here at the Hawaiian Pro. The first stop of the Vans Triple Crown of surfing. How important are these events?
Well, not only for the Vans Triple Crown, but also for the qualifying series. I mean, these 10,000 points that are on offer here for the Hawaiian Pro as well as the Vans World Cup are so important, especially for those guys that are clawing their way into that top 10 picture. I mean, we saw some upsets today, and we also saw some surfers that were actually going to climb up the rankings because of their results today.
Well, one of those guys, Goni Zubizarreta, is down there with Kaipo Guerrero on the beach after winning that last heat.
Yeah, thank you, Strider. Goni, great heat, hotly contested heat with all the surfers. Surfed really well, but these afternoon heats, you keep on surfing. You were talking, there's a little bit of a glare out there that you got to deal with.
Yeah, it's hard to time it right. You know, when you're in the bottom turn looking up to hit the lip, there's the glare there. So it's tricky, but yeah, I'm super happy to get through this hit. I had a 7, I think, at the beginning, and then I just needed another one. Adriano had an 8 and me also, so I was struggling against the rip there to get another good wave, and so stoked I got it in the end.
Well, it came through, and it seems like you're always in these afternoon heats, so you're actually ahead a little bit of everyone else because you're already on to the round of 32. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I feel really good. Yeah, I think it's my best result here in Haleiwa, and I love this wave, and I love competing here in Hawaii. And it's been a long year, but feeling great, and I can't wait for more hits.
All right, felicitaciones.
Gracias. Saludos a todos.
Back to you guys.
Ciao.
Yeah, Kaipo, staying with the lingo. In all different countries, everywhere he goes, he's got it on his tongue. It's nice to know that he's breaking it down with all the guys, really understanding what's going on. And for Zubizarreta, 14 plus total. That seems to be a good formula.
Oh, absolutely, and especially considering that we're looking at the round of 64, just that one heat today, this afternoon. He's already into the round of 32. That's a good result, but if he can make maybe 1, 2, 3 more heats, I mean, we could start talking about looking at like the miracle come through from behind. I mean, and I think that he's one of those guys that can surf well at Sunset Beach. So, yeah, we like to keep those little, underdogs coming through the ranks, and we just never know at the end of it.
Well, Zubizarreta keeping the dream alive with some solid heat scores. And the top waves of the day, we got a bunch of 9s that went down today, Pete. I mean, absolutely beautiful surfing out there. These guys were just on fire. The Portuguese surfers.
Well, you look at what Federico has been able to do here in Haleiwa in the past. The kid's super comfortable. He knows what he wants to ride in conditions like this. This was the first wave of the event for him, and it's a 9.77. One judge actually gave it a perfect 10. He knew it, gave his arms up, and of course it was rewarded.
Yeah, well, then there was Tori Meister. This guy loves a big open wall, loves to go way out the back, and look at the gouges on the face for the 9.5.
And this was earlier in the morning. This is the first big score we saw come out of the gates, and it was, of course, by those 2 turns on the outside. We really hadn't seen anybody, and then the finish move on the toilet bowl was super committed, and of course rewarded for a 9.5.
Then the other big guy from Portugal, Vasco Ribeiro. These guys absolutely blitzed the field today, in my mind. The two best surfers of the day were the 2 Portuguese surfers.
I would agree, and he even was one of the highlight and standouts from day 1 in the smaller conditions, so able to do it in all kinds of waves.
9.37 for Vasco, and then we moved down the line to O'Neal Masson with a 9.17.
And O'Neal, again, this was a wave where he was able to commit on the outside, and that really seems to be the major difference in all of these 9s. The only real difference, as we'll see, is Brett Simpson's 9. A lot of the score came from his final move.
Yeah, definitely a very committed final move. Threw it up into the lip on a really radical section. A 9.07 for this ride, Pete.
But you look at the size of this wave, it was a solid one. He was able to commit through the inside, and then this move right here, all this speed carried into the toilet bowl, and it just was with the backwash all at the same time. So dramatic, and then rewarded again with a 9.
Well, I mean, absolutely impressive surfing from all those guys. Let's talk bathymetry here out at Haleiwa. I mean, the wave is so unique with that deep trench, the way the waves swing in. You got, You got point to point over there, and then you've got outside there, you know, the waves coming in on the outer reefs. It really breaks up outside. You get to see it coming. 90 seconds later, it hits that reef. You got the rip pulling through. What creates all that?
Well, you've got a really deep channel that runs outside of the break, but also that feeds in through point to point into the harbor. I mean, it became a natural harbor, really, and then they built the harbor itself. So it's deep water all around it, and so it takes the different swell directions and it feeds it in onto the break. Of course, the optimum swell direction being out of the west here for Haleiwa. Today, we had northwest, we had west-northwest, we had north-northwest. We had 3 different kind of directions hitting here. So each set had a little different angle on it, and it added to the elements. And it, of course, with that north direction in it, it brings that water from the channel into the wave, and it breaks on top of these surfers. A lot of the time, we had a lot of closeouts today.
So a lot to deal with out there. One man that got to deal with it for the GoPro breakdown was Dane Gdauskas. We're going to check that out.
What's up? I'm Dane Gdauskas. We're down here at Haleiwa Beach Park for the first stop of the Vans Triple Crown, and this is the Hawaiian Pro. So Haleiwa is kind of located on the southern stretch of the 7 Mile Miracle. One of the cool things about Haleiwa is that when it's small, it's a great place for all the local groms to just go out and get a couple waves after school, but when it steps up to that big range, it really challenges the best in the world to go nuts. It's just heavy commitment, big motorboating right coming across the reef, and gosh, you have to be heavily committed to just get that score and just finish it on the dry reef toilet bowl section. So no shortage of fireworks. If it's small or huge, either way you go, it's gonna be a great show. You never know what you're gonna get. In the Triple Crown, it could be 1 foot or 20 feet, and you gotta be ready for anything. So Haleiwa is definitely a perfect example of you gotta be ready for anything. You gotta show up and give it your best.
Thanks, Dane, for that breakdown. That was pretty interesting. The reality that it could be little 2-foot lefts or 20-foot huge rights out the back. I mean, that leads us into what we're looking at coming up in the forecast with Surfline. We've definitely got some waves on the way. How's the Surfline forecast looking, Pete?
Well, after today, we will see it decrease through into the rest of the week. So we do have an opportunity towards the end for another swell, again, from that north-northwest. Again, so it's one of those things where Marty's going to have to look at, and Travis Logie, look at what the forecast is going to be like, but we've got plenty of waves. That's the one good thing that we have in this forecast, is that we'll see tomorrow tapering off from this swell, and I think that we'll be running, I would say, you know, good 95% that we're going to be getting some heats underway. And then even Wednesday is going to be holding some surf. And then again, it'll drop off one more day and then back up again on Friday. So we'll pretty much get this event done and dusted before the weekend, or maybe through the weekend. But I gotta love the fact that the Pacific Ocean is alive and well. It's been producing surf for weeks now, you know, on the West Coast, all through the Hawaiian Islands, and even now on the East Coast. You look at tapering off slowly, not like it's gonna drop off quick. So that means we'll keep running heats. As long as there's waves out there, there is to be had. So Tuesday, Wednesday drops off, but then again back up Friday for another sizable north-northwest swell. Again, comes up with that kind of north angle. Gonna be a little bit challenging for these surfers, but you know what? Size is better than having no waves at all.
That's true. All the ocean moving out there and all the action, you just really don't know what you're going to get up to. We can have a forecast, we can look at it, but we're not sure exactly what we're going to get every day. But Surfline has been pretty accurate with what we've had.
Oh, absolutely. And it's you know, those guys study the maps. They've got Lola to help them out. So there's a lot of different tools to use to give you that kind of thing. But you know what? Weather is weather, and you got to show up, get down here and take a look at it, and that's why Marty's here.
Well, we'll be down here bright and early tomorrow because you know there could be waves in the morning as the forecast stated. We can't wait to see more, and we're going to leave you with some highlights. Strider Wasilewski and Pete Mel going to leave you on day 2 here at the Hawaiian Pro, the first stop in the Triple Crown, the Vans Triple Crown, and we'll take a look at the highlights right now.
This is the Hawaiian Pro, the first stop for the 2016 Vans Triple Crown of Surfing.
The waves are absolutely cracking out the back on the north shore of Oahu. Ihimana, beautiful surfing right there.
Ramsey, always a threat. advanced Triple Crown of surfing. And that's why.
Second scoring wave for Tori Meister. Dashing a huge maneuver.
Griffin Colapinto now. That was a laser sharp snap for Griffin. Straight up to the lip. Smashing the lip. And getting smashed by the lip in return.
Federico Marias, big, huge out the back turn. Another one right behind it. Looking for more on the inside bowl. Bangs it away and comes down with it.
There you see the powerful approach of Tanner. Backhand, positivity fueled power surfing.
See what Brett Simpson's got. He drops in after this one, right under the lip, off the bottom. Huge committed lip line float right there.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.